Hi, welcome to a new video. I've been travelling up towards the Coral Coast in WA in search of turquoise waters and beautiful sandy beaches. Instead, I've had an awful lot of this. So today I'm on my way to Kalbarri, so I'm going to show you some of the highlights on the way up, and then we're going to explore the whole Kalbarri region. I've got to get in the van, it's too wet to stand out here. In today's video, I explore the strange rock formations known as the Pinnacles, look at a life form from the beginning of time, learn all about the historic town of Northampton, and visit WA's convict past, as I make my way to the beautiful town of Kalbarri. Unfortunately, when the weather's like this, all I can do is keep moving north in the hope of finding sunnier skies. So I haven't filmed a lot on the way up. In a few sunny breaks, I've filmed a couple of things around Cervantes, and thankfully I got a break in the weather to have a look at the Pinnacles, which are amazing. But otherwise, it's been pretty miserable, really. And this is very cool. It's like an otherworldly landscape. So what exactly are these? It's believed that they're actually fossilized tree stumps, and so what's happened is the sand has clung to the stumps and become wet over time and became hard, and then in time the trees have withered away. We're talking millions of years. The trees have withered away, but this core around the tree stumps has remained. So it's kind of like a mold for the trees that used to be here. And they're all around me, so it must have been quite a forest once upon a time. I'm going to wander over this way. There's a tour group here, and they won't stop talking really loudly. I don't get it that you come to an amazing, beautiful place and you don't treat it with reverence. You just yell and scream at each other. Don't get that. So entry to the Pinnacles is $17 and $10 concession, and that's a day pass, and that's a pass to all of the parks in this area. I've come just out of Cervantes to Lake Thetis to see some stromatolites. What are they? Well, they're the reason you and I are here, for a start. Stromatolites are descendants of the earliest forms of life on planet Earth. They might just look like rocks to you, but without these, none of us, nothing, would be here. They're colonies of cyanobacteria, and they're very similar to the very first forms of life on Earth. They're actually a microbial community that's been here for something like 3.5 billion years. And it's these communities that in the formation of Earth started creating oxygen. And it's because of them that the Earth became oxygenated, and gradually we could have plants and animals, and yes, eventually, you and me. So these are really important in the evolution of life on Earth, and they're only found in a couple of places around the world still today. And here at Lake Thetis, that's one of them. So, thanks little buddies. Thanks for bringing life to Earth.
Next I came to the little seaside town of Cervantes.
Cervantes has a little beach here, and a few more beaches down the coast. This beach here is covered in seaweed, and I can tell you, it's not pretty on the nose either. Pretty sure that's just a seasonal thing. In summer, I'm sure you'll be fine. And there's also a little lobster fleet based here in Cervantes, because apparently they're really good lobster fishing grounds out there. Probably the most famous place in Cervantes is here, the Lobster Shack. This is where the boats go out lobster fishing. They package lobster here, so you can do a tour of the factory if you want. And they have a cafe where you can buy lobster and other seafood. It's a busy little cafe, and I'm sure in summertime it would be a whole lot busier. So you can get meals here, you can have a drink, you can relax, and it's only just over 2 hours north of Perth. Okay, at $60 for a small lobster, that's a pass from me. This is the place where the tourists come, and they will get lobster meals here. But I was talking to a lobster fisherman last night, and he said a lot of places in town have lobster. The hotel, the pub, even the fish and chip shop. So maybe it'll be cheaper there. Next town along the road is Jurien Bay. Beautiful sandy beach, but oh my god, it's windy and wet, so not exactly beach weather. So I think I'm just going to keep heading north and try and find some sunshine. So I've stopped off the highway at the lovely little heritage town of Northampton. This town was established in 1864 and primarily as a centre to mine copper and lead. A beautiful old house here is Chiverton House, which these days is a museum. Let's go in and get out of the rain for a bit. In the museum, I've met one of the volunteers here, Sylvia, and she's been a part of this town for a very long time. Hi, Sylvia.
Hello, how are you?
Tell me about your family's association with this town.
Well, Northampton was named in 1864.
Yes.
And we, my family came here in 1859 from Wales.
Wow.
There was 4 families came out here together.
Yes. So we can definitely say you're a local.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
What's it like to live in town, in Northampton?
Oh, well, I've been asked to go and live with my daughters, and that's also in the country, and I said, I'm not going anywhere.
You love it so much.
Yes.
Yeah. This here is a little model of the first road vehicle in WA. It's a steam vehicle. It took 200 gallons of water to go 3 miles. It's designed to go on roads, and there were no roads here. So this was a series of houses, yes?
No, this is one house here. This part was built in 1885.
Yes.
And Captain Samuel Mitchell had this built because he had 18 children.
Oh, wow.
And that was up in the Murchison River, the lead mine. Actually, there's a photo of it in the front room.
Okay, so he was the mine captain.
Yeah. In 1870, they closed the mine.
And some of his family, I'm guessing?
The lady at the end there is his first wife. She had 7 children and died. The second wife is up on the wall there. She was his housekeeper, and when she turned 16 he married her, and she had 11 children. And
wow,
one of the 11
yes.
is Premier Brown's mother. That's her there. And I think that's Jeff Gallop's grandmother.
Okay.
And there's a picture of Premier Brown.
Here.
Yep. And he was the longest serving Premier. Here, she was 3 months pregnant on this on the sailing ship. It took 3 months to get out here. She had 2 little sons underfoot in the sailing ship. They got to Fremantle and they were in boarding house until they got a smaller boat and to come up to Port Gregory, and then they had to walk 45 k's to the Wheel of Fortune mine.
They certainly didn't have it easy in those days, did they?
This is my great-grandmother. She was the first free-settling white baby girl born in the town.
Yeah.
Thomas Boy was born about a month earlier.
Okay.
And she was Margaret Williams, and she married Cripps, and he's the cause of 5 of the AFL players.
He's what, sorry?
He's the cause of 5 AFL players.
Oh, okay.
Patrick Cripps, Jamie Cripps, Andrew Lockyer, Tarkin Lockyer, who went black and white, and Chris Mainwaring.
Wow. Sylvia was just telling me off camera that it was very common in those days for a 16, 17-year-old to marry a gentleman in his 30s or even 40s. It was just the done thing. And Sylvia, you had a few proposals when you were 16.
Yes, I had 3, and but I wasn't interested in getting married. I wanted to travel first.
Yes.
Which I did, and married one of them 5 years later.
Yeah, okay. And if you'd waited till you were maybe 25, would you be seen as an old maid in those days?
Oh, yes. I was told I was on the shelf when I turned 21.
Can you imagine? You needed to get a license to ride a bicycle, but it happened in WA. It's the only state where it happened. That's fascinating. And the railway in town was the first government railway in WA, and it ran from here in Northampton to Geraldton to take the lead to Geraldton where the ships would come in. And so out the back we've got wagons and farm machinery and an old Jeep I can see. Wow, these look really old.
Camel gear. This is the camel pack, and there's another one there, and this is the camel water drum.
Camel gear.
Because the Afghans used to come around and sell all they were hawkers, and they used to go to all the old farms and that and sell their lotions and potions and material and wool and all that sort of thing. Oh, and this was the old operating table from the old hospital. Yeah. We've got a new second-hand hospital now.
Good.
And the surgeon was just a local, he was an army doctor, and he was pretty rugged.
And you?
And I had my appendix out on that in, what was it, 1961?
Wow. Well, Sylvia's told me so much about this area and so many funny stories from the old days. Thank you so much for your stories. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for coming in.
And it was lovely to meet you. Thanks, Sylvia. And a big shout out to people like Sylvia. Every time I go to little old towns, they're volunteers running information centres and museums. They're awesome. A little bit further up the highway, just out of the town of Linton, is this old convict hiring depot. I forget that in WA they had convict labour. So the convicts would be brought up to here, and this is where they would basically be hired out to the different farms. So this is the depot. About 80 men or so would sleep in this place. There'd be soldiers, there'd be police, there were magistrates. It was like its own little village in a way, even had a mill. So why convicts? Well, WA was actually settled by free settlers, and there were no convicts, but by the time they got to the 1850s, there was a shortage of labour. So they found convicts were pretty handy. They had them shipped over, and they were hired out to all the different pastoral properties around here. And this ruined building here was actually a jail to house some of the convicts before they were then shipped off to the different farms in the region. So this right here is an old jail cell. On the way to Kalbarri, just outside Port Gregory, are a series of pink lakes, and these are quite magical. I've just arrived in Kalbarri and I've been greeted with blue skies, blue waters and sandy beaches. I'm gonna like this place, I can tell.
The next day I travelled to Kalbarri National Park for its iconic rock formations like Nature's Window, its beautiful gorge and the Skywalk.
This is really beautiful here as the river cuts a path through the rock. I'm actually, and the greenery too. It's actually more beautiful than I expected. Instagram, reality. So Nature's Window is just a very short distance from the Skywalk, but you don't have to stop there. You can keep going. There's a 9-kilometre loop walk if you wanted to do that. I'm not really going to do that today, but I'm going to do some of it. It's beautiful here. So today I'm travelling with my friend Jamie. Give us a wave, Jamie.
Hello.
She's very camera shy, not like me. I think Nature's Window gets all the glory because it's an Instagram spot, but gee, it's beautiful down here by the river. See, I brought Jamie along so she can stand at the edge for the shots because I'm too scared to. So that's the Kalbarri Skywalk, or as I call it, the Walk of Doom and certain death. No, don't listen to me. I'm just a total wuss when it comes to heights.
But eventually I overcame my fear and stood on the edge.
But despite my fear of heights, it is spectacular and it is worth coming here, and it just shows again that nature is amazing.
But Kalbarri's not only dramatic gorges, it has some beautiful, calm beaches.
Well, I've had a lovely time in Kalbarri. It's a really pretty little town, very chilled vibe here. The gorge was amazing and the coastline is really dramatic, but it's also got these nice quiet little beaches as well. So thanks so much for watching. It's been great to finally get some sunshine on my skin. I'm loving it. I'll see you in the next one.